What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Mark with The Better Mark, and let's break down the NBA slate. Monday, March 4th, I'm going to get into the contest going down. We have a short one, but this is one where we see a lot of rest, a lot of rest advantages, a lot of rest disadvantages. So it's one where I'm not going to be betting too heavy on this Monday, but I'm going to still break down every single game like we're going to do every day here on the channel. But guys, thanks for all being part of the team. Thanks for subscribing. We had a great weekend. Make sure you guys are all following on X as well. I just launched the March Madness giveaway for the Fanatics giveaway. All you have to do, guys, is follow the instructions here. Subscribe on YouTube. There's a link down below. If you guys are on X, this is a really fun contest where some lucky winner is going to get a jersey of their choice within reason from Fanatics shipped directly to your house. All you got to do is follow me on X and YouTube and then follow these instructions here on this pinned comment, okay? But let's get back into it, guys. And like I said, make sure you guys are all subscribed down below. Smash that like button. That really helps us here on YouTube if you guys all absolutely destroy that. Or just gently touch it, whatever you want to do. Dunk on it, what have you. But let's get into the picks, okay? And just a quick recap. Yesterday, we kind of had a little bit of the inactive-active bug going around, but we were able to cash the first game of the slate. That's one where we had the likes of the Dallas Mavericks and the Philadelphia 76ers. Did not see a lot of points in that contest. It's been crazy. If we look at the trends within the betting trends within the over-under in the NBA, the unders have been cashing at a very extreme rate. So we all know how reversion of the mean is going to happen eventually. But this is one where unders have been cashing at an enormous clip, one where they've been winning with margin too. But one coming off of Saturday, someone actually commented on a video one time here on the channel that they've picked up on that trend, that they've picked up on a little bit of an advantage that you have playing some of these road teams going under after a Saturday night. You know, a couple millionaires in big cities. It's a very true trend that goes down in the NBA, but able to cash that under within the Mavs 76ers game. We had a little bit of a blunder within that Golden State Boston taking the points to Golden State, a historical blowout, one with the setting NBA history in the record books as one of the worst blowouts in NBA history. And that's when we're going to just take off the chin, okay? When you give me 11.5 points, I don't care if they're on the road. Golden State's historically played Boston well in those big-time, prime-time slots. And that's one where just they didn't shoot the ball well. So it's one where we'll wear it, we'll take it off the chin, and we'll be back again today betting. And that's why it's important to do, you know, bet with units, bet with the system, and bet with a plan because, you know, if you're going all in on one team, guys, sometimes they just don't shoot the ball well, and that's exactly what happened within that Golden State game. Jason Tatum's birthday, I mean, it goes on and on and on, okay? But this is one where we were able to drop another contest within the Cleveland Cavaliers. A little bit of an inactive bug. Donovan Mitchell, I don't know what the heck's going on, but without him, the Cavaliers simply just do not function well. Jalen Brunson, conversely, for the Knicks, went out in the first minute of the game, I believe. And Dante DiVincenzo and company really just has a physical presence and able to manhandle the Cavaliers and outwilled them on the road, getting it done, winning outright. That's when we saw the number creep down from that -6, 6.5, all the way down to, I believe, 4, 4.5. And the Knicks got it done. They won outright, and so that's when we're going to take off the chin. 1 and 2 on the day yesterday. And that's why we're back again betting today. So let's get into today's slate, March 4th, okay? And this is one where, guys, we're going to have a lot of the same with inactives, actives. So make sure you guys all stay locked. I'm going to post a couple of the one play that I'm in for sure, okay? One play that I already bet, and then the other plays more so leans right now because, guys, I'm going to have to circle back to the comments. So make sure you guys always check that pinned comment for my official plays because this is one where we have a lot of inactives, a lot of couple big-time games, a couple big-time matchups, and there's a lot of superstars that may be sitting out in these contests, so always stay locked to see what's going on before lock because these numbers are all going to move. Just it's the nature of the NBA. It's the unfortunate circumstance that we have to bet against, and sometimes it helps you, sometimes it hurts you. So it's all about that closing line value, so we'll see what happens as we get later in to this Monday. All right, but let's get down into it without further ado, and this is where we're looking at the contests within the association. Starting off, this, guys, is an absolute no bet for me. This is the Memphis Grizzlies traveling to the Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn Nets have achieved that status, guys. They've won the award. They are my no bet team that we're getting into. Just not happening. If anything, guys, I would probably lean to absolutely 0 points being scored in this contest. But both of these teams quite frankly, I don't have a feel for. So if you hear me talk about Memphis, you hear me talk about Brooklyn, it's probably going to be because I'm telling you I'm not touching them with a 10-foot pole. Just too many injury concerns. Brooklyn has been, I mean, look at Brooklyn right now, guys. 9-point favorites. I mean, go figure. This is one of the worst teams in the NBA, and now they're bouncing back in a strong way in almost a double-digit favorite because of all the injury concerns that we're seeing with Memphis. Memphis just cannot get right. Ben Simmons, conversely, is questionable, but we all know how that story works. But Memphis, basically, I think 1-3-1 against the spread their last 5, losing 5 outright. Brooklyn's winning 1-3 out of their last 5. A couple wins against Atlanta. That's where last week we had a little bit of that scheduling snafu and getting the job done 111-86 at Memphis last week as well. So not going to touch it. That's just one where there's an opportunity. I feel like if you guys do any NBA teasers, which I know those are horrible to do, this is one where if you can get Brooklyn a little bit lower, it's one that might entertain that with an under, maybe even a little same-game teaser, which I know those are huge, horrible ways to lose money over the course of a betting season. But that's kind of what we're looking at within that contest. And then next, we're going to go down into the Clippers-Milwaukee game. This is one where we have to look at the questionable status of Giannis, mind you. Okay, but the Clippers off a back-to-back. Bucks are rested, and they found a defensive identity, I think, within the likes of Doc Rivers, which I told you guys was coming. It just took some time. Early money flowing in on Milwaukee, so don't be surprised if you see this money line creep up, if you see the number move to 6. But this is a kind of huge number. We see Russell Westbrook will be out. Whether Paul George plays, Kawhi Leonard plays, if they all play in this matchup, that's going to be yet to be determined. But Middleton remains out for the Bucks. Giannis, questionable. We see that basically every single time out. But the Bucks have found their identity, in my opinion. Excuse me, I got a little bit of a cold going on. But this is where, if I'm going to play this game, it's going to have to rely on the injury report. This is one where I'm probably most likely going to either be Bucks or no play. But, guys, if this is any sort of an indication of any more players out for the Clippers off a back-to-back, this number definitely will move towards Milwaukee's favorite. Milwaukee covering 5 out of their last 5 games. Completely different squad that we saw pre-All-Star break. And a little bit after Doc Rivers has gotten that identity established, but we'll see if that remains as we enter the playoff season as well. Okay, and the next, Portland, Minnesota. Okay, Minnesota off a back-to-back, one where we saw them play the Clippers, losing by 1 point. Guys, they do not allow points. They have a very good defensive-minded team. And we look at this total, that's probably the first thing that jumps out at me, creeping down from 213 to 211 from open with a minus 14 Timberwolves spread. So the implied outcome of this game, just using that minus 14 within this low total of 211, that means that basically we're going to be looking at Portland not scoring 100 points. Okay, that's what it comes down to, is the implied total being Portland not getting to 100. So if you're looking into that, maybe not betting the game, look at Portland team total and look at that number if you want to get into that market. But you have to sometimes look at these correlating values when they have the spread and total, because they just sometimes don't vibe. If you want somebody to cover a big number and you're going to take the over, or vice versa, it's something where it doesn't lend towards that being an outcome in more times than not. So this is definitely one of those instances where basically Vegas is telling us that we are going to, and the odds makers are telling us that we are going to have a low-scoring performance from the Portland Trail Blazers, as well as a dominating effort from Minnesota. So if you're going to play this game, those two things you have to take in mind. So maybe look into that Portland team total if you're going to do that. But guys, I would obviously lean Minnesota off a back-to-back, lean towards taking the points with the Portland Trail Blazers. But we all know covering 2 out of their last 5, 17-42 straight up, and 27-32 against the spread. Not a good team. Not a good team, simply put. And on the road, guys, they're 54%. So this is a coin flip game from a spread perspective. So there is some value, in my opinion, a stronger edge in taking that 14 points. But I think if I was going to get in this market, get involved, I'd look at that Portland Trail Blazers team total with the points, okay? And then we're going to get into the Washington-Utah game where I have my first official play. This is one, guys, where we look at Washington. They've basically given up. In the former fashion, 9-51 win-loss on the season. And one thing that they don't do, and one thing that's directly correlating with a ball club's record is the fact of their effort. Effort, hustle is leading towards consistency, and this is one where we see the rebounds really start to be a victim of that effort, okay? So within the Washington Wizards, they're not getting the glass. We all know that. So obviously within Utah, we're going to look at some of the rebounding props, and one that jumps out of the page is I'm going to be taking John Collins. I'm going to take John Collins over. I think if you can find a 9 out there, shop around, but John Collins getting 10 boards, lock that play in. I think you can find an over and a half there. FanDuel and some other outlets, they will offer the 10 plus market. So shop around, find the best market, best price out there. But that is one where, based off recent form and how Washington likes to play and crash the glass, I find that to be one of the most props that gives me the best edge in this Monday slate. Okay, no play on the side or total because, guys, like I said, Washington's a talking dumpster fire, and Utah has been a little bit Jekyll and Hyde since the All-Star break. All right, and then two more games to get into. We're going to talk about that Chicago Bulls Sacramento game. Initially, De'Aaron Fox is questionable, so always, guys, check what's going on with the injury report. But initially, that's what jumps off the page. Early money flying in on the Chicago Bulls. So this number probably will get bet down unless Fox is ruled out, where we look at the Bulls basically getting 6.5 on the road, over under 229, 227.5. Chicago does not usually have a lot of points in their contest. Sacramento is the opposite. They like to score points in bushels. But this is kind of fitting the narrative where we're starting to see the totals, the overall totals in the NBA start to drip down. Okay, they're being set low, and this is how that reversion of the mean goes down because the odds makers are picking up on that trend, right? They're seeing how the unders are cashing at a historical rate, and this is one where they're looking to kind of get that reversion of mean established sooner than later. So we're starting to see just overall across the board a more global shift into having just opening lines for these over-unders start to drop, okay? But that's where we're looking at this game. I'm going to wait for the injury report as well. I would lean towards possibly taking Sacramento, but there's more so value on taking the Bulls right now with Fox's injury status. So that's going to be a no play as it stands right here, right now. Okay, and then this is going to be a play that we're going to make. Oklahoma City really had to pour it out last night, right? They had to really get into their back pocket and pull out all the stops to get the job done within the Phoenix Suns contest. They're going to continue that road trip. They're going to go out to Los Angeles, okay, and short turnaround. We're looking at a total of 237.5. And Oklahoma City, man, they're my darlings. They are a great ball club. Even with Jalen Williams out with a knee, SGA, probable MVP candidate, barring a little bit of voting bias and not the mainstream attention that he deserves, but having an outstanding year, very crazy stats. Saw some comparisons to Jordan and Kobe, and just how he's getting it done from a points, rebounds, and assists standpoint is just fascinating on the numbers. But this is one where off a back-to-back, obviously, guys, within the Lakers, you know how LeBron and AD, how their questionable status kind of infiltrates what's going on. But Lakers off a March 2nd loss to the Denver Nuggets at home, 124-114, and it's kind of the same spot. It was basically a pick-em. They were getting 1 point at home and not able to get the job done. So beating the Clippers back on the 28th, one where we see this has potential either way, but we're going to just play against the fact in the narrative that I do see some value taken the Thunder. +1 on the road. But, guys, I think off a back-to-back and after how they had to absolutely unload the tank to get the job done last night against the Phoenix Suns. Suns roared back. That's where you saw a huge comeback and able to stay under that total as well. But we're going to look at the Lakers here as my official play. We're going to be taking the Lakers on the money line, okay? Lock that in, as well as the John Collins rebound stat. And those would be my two official plays with a couple games that I'll be looking at later on. Maybe the Portland. We're going to be taking maybe that Portland over team total, as well as what we see with the Bucks, potentially if we can get some injury news come out of the Clippers later on in the day. Okay, but those are my official plays and a couple leans along the way. I hope you guys are doing well. Guys, remember to check out the contest giveaway on X. Link down below in the pinned comment. All you got to do is follow these instructions to be eligible and enter yourself for a chance to win a Fanatics jersey of your choice. Who doesn't like a free jersey? But that's a great way. I'm going to try to grow the channel as well as get you guys over on that page as well. So all good stuff. I hope you guys are all doing well. Let's go cash some tickets as we start this week off. Guys, remember to subscribe down below. I thank you all for watching and being part of the channel. It's growing very, very nicely. All testament to you guys. And guys, we'll see you all in the next video. Cheers.